the Bob Mills Weather Center, Oklahoma weather expert, Lacey Swope.
The forecast for 42 days away.
Any guesses there?
That's what it is. That's what it is. I was a little distracted at the moment. Trevor's looking at me like, no. There's so many things to do across Oklahoma, and so many folks have so many exciting places that they're headed. Yes, and this time of year, it is the time of year you still have to be weather aware. We still get these afternoon storms. We had several storms yesterday off towards the west. It was one large storm that eventually formed into a giant supercell, did produce a brief tornado in the Panhandle, moved through the Texas Panhandle, had some over baseball size hail, over softball size hail. And yesterday, Marty Logan was out in it. And as he was heading through the core of that storm to see the rotation with it, 1, 2, 3, 4, all of these huge hailstones, baseball size hail, hit his windshield. And man, it just kept coming, kept busting it, cracking it. Marty's going to get a new windshield. And yeah, got some damage to the truck. That's for sure. That's what happens when you're tracking supercells across the Texas Panhandle and across Oklahoma. Now, let me show you back to the track of this, and then as it moved through weekend, as it made its way into southwestern Oklahoma, this is a picture from Jana Hauser. Oh my goodness, Shamrock, Texas, 5.5-inch hailstone. There wasn't a whole lot of it, but man, that's enough. That could actually come through the roof of your vehicle, not just your windshield. That was a big damaging hail. Now today, we still have the chance for more storms down to the south. Severe thunderstorm watches out until late this afternoon, where numerous storms will take off in Texas, may have one or two in far southeastern Oklahoma. We have one severe storm now. All the rain from the northeast has moved out, and there's the storm moving through Lebanon, crossing the northern side of Lake Texoma, the Oklahoma side, headed off towards Durant, quarter-size hail, and up to golf ball-size hail possible. A few stones, maybe larger than that. Yes, hen egg size, maybe even some tennis ball size hail. It won't be a lot of it, but you do not want to be on the lake as this thing is coming across. Third day in a row of storms moving across Texoma, moving into Durant at 9:30, off to Hugo by about 11 a.m. Sunny, clear here in Oklahoma City, 73 degrees, lower mid-70s, upper 70s to the south with a north breeze. Today, back to the 80s, a few 90s in the state, and rain chances, they go up this afternoon. May have a few isolated storms in the north, but I think far eastern Oklahoma is where the bulk of the weather will be late this afternoon into the evening, and a few maybe pulse severe. Here's what's going on at the jet stream level. Strong jet stream winds overhead. You see the swirl coming out over Southern California. That's our next storm system in the upper levels that is going to ride across. For us at the surface, it'll set a dry line up, and that means for tomorrow, some big-time storms are possible. Today, it's mainly eastern Oklahoma. Dry overnight. It does look quiet through the overnight hours, and then tomorrow, ahead of the dry line, isolated storms start to fire. One of the questions is still currently, where do these set up and how many do we see? Some data says there are numerous storms that develop along the dry line. Some data says maybe one or two. Regardless, any storm that is isolated tomorrow will have the chance to produce some very large hail and damaging winds and will pose a low tornado risk. Eventually, kind of a complex develops. Still wind and hail. That'll be a mess as it rolls into the metro tomorrow evening and then weakens as it moves into eastern Oklahoma. It's a low to a moderate risk. Again, main threats, large hail, damaging winds. If we get as hot and unstable as some of the data suggests, we may have hail larger than tennis balls in a few of those storms. They'll be rotating. They'll be supercells, and just like that long track storm yesterday, some of them will spin for several counties, maybe even a few hundred miles coming up again for tomorrow. That doesn't mean it will produce a tornado, but that means it will spin, and it will likely be severe for quite a while. So our team of trackers are geared up and ready to go to bring you up for information on these storms as they develop and then track them across the state. They'll start in the west tomorrow afternoon. By the evening, west central Oklahoma, and then tomorrow night pushing into eastern Oklahoma, up to golf ball size hail possible in the metro, and again, tennis balls possible in the west. Not every storm will produce that, but some of the stronger ones definitely could. Also, damaging winds a possibility, 65, 70 miles per hour. Right now, it is a low tornado risk. Some data suggests it's a little bit higher out in western Oklahoma. Stay tuned to the forecast today. Cassie will have the latest at noon. David this afternoon to update those zones as that storm system gets closer to us. Right now, it's a 60% chance of storms in the metro. Slight chance on Friday. Another storm system Saturday night into Sunday. And then pretty dry next week, guys, and we heat it back up into the low 90s.